You know, last week my great-granddaughter Lily came to visit. Sweet little thing, just turned 7. We were sitting in the sunroom, and I was showing her some old photographs from when I was in my 50s. She looked at me, then at the photos, and, with that innocent honesty only children possess, she asked, "Grandpa, why does your face have so many maps on it now?" Her mother was mortified, but I just laughed. Children see the truth, don't they? Those lines and spots that appeared so gradually, I barely noticed them adding up year after year. Later that night, I found myself in front of the bathroom mirror, really looking at my reflection. When did my skin become so thin, so paper-like? When did these spots become so pronounced? And I wondered, is this how my patients see me too? I'm Dr. Harold Winters. I've been practicing medicine for over 65 years now, and at 91, I still see patients 3 days a week. Many of my colleagues retired decades ago, but I couldn't bear to leave my practice. You see, as we age, our perspective becomes invaluable, especially when treating other seniors. I've lived through the same changes you're experiencing. I've felt the same frustrations when younger doctors dismiss our concerns as just part of aging. And after decades of specializing in geriatric dermatology, I've learned that many of the skin issues we face aren't inevitable at all. Let me ask you something. Have you noticed people don't make eye contact with you as much anymore? Or perhaps your grandchildren don't reach for your hand like they used to? Maybe your spouse's touch has become more hesitant. It's painful, isn't it? This silent rejection we experience as our skin changes. Just last month, Martha came into my office, a vibrant 78-year-old whose mind was as sharp as ever. But she was withdrawing from her social life, her bridge club, even family gatherings. "Dr. Winters," she confided, her voice barely above a whisper, "my granddaughter asked if my skin was contagious. She'd developed those brown, scaly patches we often see, what younger doctors dismissively call age spots, without offering solutions." Then there was Robert, 83, whose hands had become so dry and cracked that he'd stopped his woodworking hobby. "I'm afraid of bleeding on the wood," he told me. His lifetime passion gone because no one bothered to address his skin concerns properly, and I see it every day. Seniors who've been told their skin problems are simply irreversible signs of aging. Use some expensive cream and accept it, they're told. Well, I'm here to tell you that's simply not true. What most doctors won't take the time to explain is that your skin is changing in very specific scientific ways. It's not just getting old. It's experiencing precise biochemical shifts that can be addressed when you understand them. Let me explain what's really happening. After the age of 60, your skin's natural moisture barrier undergoes a fundamental change. The ceramide production, those are the fatty molecules that lock moisture into your skin, drops by nearly 60%. Your oil glands produce 80% less sebum than they did at 20, and the hyaluronic acid that once kept your skin plump and hydrated decreases by about 75%. But here's what they don't tell you. These problems aren't your fault, and despite what the $400 billion cosmetic industry wants you to believe, you don't need their expensive potions to address these issues. In fact, I've developed a simple protocol based on a modified Vaseline formula that works better than products, costing 100 times more. My patients call it the Winters Restoration Method, and it's transformed thousands of my elderly patients' skin and their confidence in just weeks. Before I share the exact steps with you, I want you to know this. Solution costs less than $15 total. It can be prepared right in your kitchen, and many of my patients see noticeable improvements in just 7 days, with remarkable transformations by the 3-month mark. This method works by replenishing your skin's compromised barrier in a way that mimics your body's natural processes. And, unlike commercial products loaded with irritating fragrances and preservatives that older skin often reacts to, this gentle approach works with your skin's changing chemistry. Are you ready to learn exactly how to do this? Let me walk you through the 5 simple steps of my Vaseline restoration protocol. Step 1. The base preparation. You'll need pure petroleum jelly. Vaseline is the brand most people know, but any 100% pure petroleum jelly works. Take 3 tablespoons and place it in a small microwave-safe glass bowl. Now here's the elderly-friendly hack. If your hands shake or you have arthritis, Use a measuring spoon with a long handle and rest your wrist on the counter as you scoop. Heat the petroleum jelly for just 10–15 seconds. We want it softened, not hot. Why this works? Petroleum jelly creates an occlusive barrier that locks in moisture, but alone it's too thick and doesn't address the ceramide deficiency. That's why the next steps are crucial. Step 2. Add the ceramide booster. To your softened petroleum jelly, add 1 tablespoon of pure lanolin. You can find this in the baby section of your pharmacy. It's often sold for nursing mothers. If you have wool allergies, substitute with shea butter instead. For those with limited grip strength, here's a tip. Store the lanolin in a squeeze bottle instead of a jar, making it easier to dispense without struggling with a tight lid. Why this works? Lanolin contains molecules remarkably similar to human ceramides, those fatty substances your skin no longer produces enough of. When combined with petroleum jelly, it doesn't just sit on the surface but helps rebuild your skin's natural moisture barrier from within. Step 3. The circulation activator. Now, add 15 drops of rosemary oil. If you find dropper bottles difficult to use, here's a senior-friendly adaptation. Put the drops on a teaspoon first, then add to your mixture. This prevents overpouring if your hands aren't as steady as they once were. Why this works? As we age, blood circulation to our skin decreases by up to 60%. Rosemary oil has been scientifically proven to stimulate microcirculation, bringing vital nutrients to skin cells that have been essentially starving for decades. A 2019 study in the Journal of Dermatological Science showed that rosemary compounds increased skin cell renewal by 22% in participants over 70. Step 4. The cell regenerator. Add 1 vitamin E capsule. Simply pierce the capsule and squeeze out the contents. If this is difficult, place the capsule in a spoon and cut it with small scissors over your mixture. Why this works? Vitamin E is a powerful antioxidant that fights free radical damage, the primary cause of visible aging. What's more remarkable is that a 2020 study found vitamin E can actually help reactivate senescent skin cells, essentially waking up cells that have gone dormant with age. Step 5. The final emulsion using. A small whisk or fork, gently blend all ingredients until completely smooth. If whisking is challenging for your joints, place the mixture in a small jar with a tight lid and gently rock it back and forth until mixed. Transfer to a clean container with an easy open lid. Apply this mixture to your face, neck, hands, and any other areas of concern twice daily. Once after your morning wash and once before bed. For hard-to-reach areas like your upper back or between your shoulder blades, use what I call the towel trick. Place some of the mixture on a hand towel, then holding each end of the towel, gently rub it across your back like you're drying off. This entire protocol takes about 5 minutes to prepare and will last approximately 1 month. Store at room temperature away from direct sunlight. Now let me tell you about Margaret. She's 84 and had been a widow for nearly a decade when she first came to see me. Her skin was so dry it would crack and sometimes bleed, especially around her knuckles and elbows. More than the physical discomfort, she told me how she'd stopped dating because she was embarrassed by her appearance. At my age, I thought it was vain to even care, she admitted. I started her on the Vaseline protocol, and within 3 weeks the transformation was remarkable. Not just in her skin's appearance, but in her confidence. 6 months later, she came to her appointment with a gentleman friend. He says, "My skin feels like silk," she whispered with a girlish smile I suspect she hadn't worn in years. Then there's James, a 79-year-old former construction worker whose hands were a map of his hard-working life, calloused, spotted, and aged far beyond his years. His granddaughter had innocently asked why his hands looked so scary. It broke his heart to see her hesitate to hold his hand. James was skeptical about my kitchen concoction, as he called it. But after just 2 weeks of faithful application, the deep cracks in his hands had begun to heal. After 2 months, even the stubborn age spots had lightened considerably. Last weekend, he told me with tears in his eyes, my granddaughter reached for my hand at the park. She didn't pull away, Doc. Perhaps the most touching case was Eleanor, 92. who lived in an assisted living facility. Her skin had become so fragile that the nurses had to use special precautions when helping her bathe. The paper-thin quality of her skin had left her feeling extremely vulnerable. Her daughter contacted me after hearing about the protocol from another patient. We modified the application method to accommodate Eleanor's limited mobility, teaching her caregiver how to gently apply the mixture. Within a month, the nurses reported a significant change in her skin's resilience. But what struck me most was what Eleanor herself said during my visit. "For the first time in years, I don't feel like I'm going to tear apart at the slightest touch. I feel human again." These aren't rare success stories. I've seen these transformations hundreds of times over the decades, and the science confirms what these results show. When we properly address the specific deficiencies of aging skin, remarkable regeneration is possible at any age. I want you to really hear me on this. It is never too late. Your skin retains the ability to heal and improve well into your 90s and beyond. The cells may work more slowly than they once did, but they haven't forgotten how to repair themselves when given the right tools. I encourage you to try this protocol for just 7 days. That's all it takes to begin feeling the difference. That sensation of your skin becoming more supple, more alive. Within a month, you'll likely see visible changes that others will notice too. Remember when you could shake someone's hand without feeling self-conscious? When you could wear short sleeves without worrying about the spots on your arms? When your grandchildren didn't seem to notice your appearance, just the love you have for them? That feeling is what this protocol helps restore. Your family will see the difference, but more importantly, you'll feel it. There's a special kind of confidence that comes from knowing you're caring for yourself properly, from feeling comfortable in your own skin again. If this video has helped you, please consider sharing it with other seniors who might be suffering in silence with the same issues. Subscribe to our channel for more honest, science-based advice specifically for our generation. And remember, those expensive creams the cosmetic companies push, they're counting on you not knowing simple, effective alternatives like this one. You've earned every line on your face, but you deserve to have skin that feels good, that's healthy, and that doesn't hold you back from embracing life fully. At every age, from one senior to another, this is Dr. Harold Winters wishing you health, confidence, and skin that reflects the vitality I know is still within you.